Do you know there are a lot of people that met money, but because of lack of financial wisdom, they lost everything. Some people don't even know how to maintain relationships. Some people don't know how to maintain relationships. That's why they keep having walk-ins in their establishments, but they cannot maintain it. I was so excited when a lady sat before me and said, "How I wish I met you before now." There were a couple of losses my family had we wouldn't have had. But I thank God that as I met you, we began to conserve certain things. Even though we are not rich, money is no more coming as it used to. But we are able to achieve 10 times now just by sitting under your ministration. A couple of us, what is fighting us is not powers from our father's house, but our lack of wisdom in disposition of things. Get me the same Job chapter 29 verse number 4. Job 29 verse 4. Job 29 verse 4. Just as I was in the days of my youth, King James, the days of my prime, oh, Old King James, in the days of my youth, as I was in the days of my youth, when the secret of God was upon my tabernacle. So the wisdom of God gives us access to the secrets of God. And imagine when you have access to the secrets of God. Minister Frank, if you hear that you are coming out and you hear that some people are waiting for you to attack you, and you are supposed to go through this place, and you heard it on time, what will you do? Will you come out? You will follow another way. Or you do what? You stay. So when you have access to the secrets of God, that's why the Bible says, my people perish for lack of wisdom. Because they don't have access to this wisdom, they perish. They don't have access to it, they perish. I was discussing with someone last night, and then the person was telling me, I know what you did. What you did is that you studied prophet and you saw that prophets don't go far. Watch it. Prophetic ministries don't often go far. They are the ones, that's why that same person you met that has been prophesying in a primary school when you were a child is still prophesying. The teachers of the word go far. Why? Because prophets, because of those things they can see, they don't build their capacity in knowledge. Yes, they don't build. So once you give them microphone, and that's how. So they don't even teach people the principles to sustain the prophecy they receive. So because of that, they don't go far. That's why when we came up, we began to study this. And I made up my mind that I must be a teaching priest. I must be a teaching prophet. Go for knowledge. Go for wisdom. Expand yourself. Expand your territory. Enlarge your coast and spare not. The Bible says, straighten the cord. Stretch forth the curtain and spare not. Every promotion begins from the mind. When wisdom is lacking, promotion is lacking. Because before every promotion, there are secrets that introduces the promotion. Before Daniel was promoted, he interpreted a dream. Before you can be promoted in life, you must have access to secrets of God. Divine wisdom. So the secrets of God are behind the making of the wise. The secrets of the Lord are behind the making of the wise. Anywhere you see success, it is tied to wisdom. Anywhere you see success, it is tied to wisdom. And sometimes you will have to, as a Mary, go to your Elizabeth. Mary was pregnant, but Elizabeth was more pregnant. One of my daughters, who is not around, she's abroad, she would call my wife and say, this is what is happening to me now. My wife will say, it is normal. She's pregnant. She was pregnant then. It is normal. This is what you should be experiencing. Don't bother about it. So one of these days, she called my wife and she said, I started seeing, it's like just a little fringe of stain. My wife said, watch it again, because sometimes you are pregnant, you see that. There is something they call it medically. It happened on the 2 occasions of my children. She wasn't actually bleeding until you wait again. It's not like a drop of bleeding. You wake up, it's like just a scratch. Just a scratch. Mary had to go to Elizabeth. Mary had to go to Elizabeth. If you are pregnant, you need someone more pregnant than you are. That's why you don't exonerate the place of mentorship. You see someone that has built something worth the while, and you are still looking down on the person because you think you are older than the person. Somebody say, what does Ugochukwu know to teach about business? Doesn't know anything. What does he know to teach about business? Can't teach business. He's not qualified to teach business. Because we were talking something and he was saying it over there for me to hear it. I said, my brother, come. So he came. I said, okay, I have nothing, I don't know anything about business, right? He said, yes, leave business for us. We are the ones that know business. I said, wow, powerful. I said, okay, if you can be sincere. The wife was there. I said, what time do you go to work every day? Your shop. He said, it depends. It depends how I wake up. It depends how I feel. I said, do you go to shop every time? He said, no. I don't go to shop. I just stay at home. I call people that are in the shops and I ask them what is happening there. The wife now said, you go to shop when you want to collect money. I said, if you run your business the way I run Census Church, you will be a billionaire. I told him, I said, in years, this is the 13th year of census as a church. I've only missed Sunday service 3 times. I think 2 or 3 times. In 13 years. In 13 years. And I'm not planning to miss another one. And at one occasion, it was a trip abroad. At another one, it was a mentor. Okay, there were mentors that called me and said, we need you to preach. If you come on Wednesday, certainly you must see us here. On Sunday, certainly you must see us here. The same configuration. Doesn't mean we are never discouraged. No, we strengthen ourselves in the Lord. Because consistency is key to maturity. You cannot mature what you are not consistent in. And when maturation takes place, dominion is established. You open your shop today, you don't open it tomorrow. And you say you are being attacked. The labor of a foolish man will reach every one of them, because they knoweth not the way to the city. Somebody say, I hear. So the wisdom of God is access to the thought process and mindset of God. The wisdom of God is the access to the thoughts, process, and the mindset of God. You begin to align yourself to the same way God thinks. Get me the book of Isaiah chapter 55 and verse number 8. Isaiah 55 and verse number 8. Quickly. Isaiah 55 and verse number 8. For my thoughts are not your thoughts, nor are my ways, nor your ways, nor are your ways my ways, says the Lord. Go on, verse 9. For as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts. Now, I met a man of God who was having issues with rich people in his church. Rich people. What he would do is to pick up his call and begin to Every morning he gets up, you know those people, they send you that they have a message for you when it is actually a lie. They use that message to keep tab. You know, some of them might be true, but many of them are not. So they use that message to keep tab of keeping tab with you. The next thing you will hear is you will need to give to me, you will need to give to me. And then that's what that individual does. So he keeps extorting money, he keeps collecting money from people, he keeps extorting money from the church members. So he told me my church people don't even tell me about their finances. They don't tell me about breakthroughs in their life. They have breakthroughs that we never testify about it. I said to him, what do you do with them? He said nothing. I said, do you actually, like, from time to time call them? He says yes. I said, like, tell me how often. Lo and behold, like every week he must call people. He said to me, man of God, if you leave these people, now man will take away girl. They cannot be dragging them. He said, man of God, now I told him, I said, I don't call. He said, man of God, you need to start calling. Now I asked him, sir, with all sense of humility, yourself and myself, the work you do and mine, which one has more finance? And he says yours. I say, can't you see that your own method is not working? How do you keep calling people to disturb people? So you don't know how to pastor greatness. And there are people like that. A guy is in your life today. In the next 10 minutes, you just came home and met your mother sick. And you have rushed your mother to the hospital. And then they are looking for money. 180,000. And the guy will say, okay, let me see what I can do. The guy will send 100 or 50. And then after another 4 or 5 days, your rent has expired. The rent of your family that didn't expire. Another time you are telling the guy, remember my birthday is in 2 weeks. What will you do for me? So it is tasking and tasking and tasking and tasking. One of my daughters came to me and said, Daddy, this my birthday. Went and greeted my wife and said, Daddy, it's my birthday. I said, okay, bless you. She said, Daddy, are you going to give me a gift for birthday? I said, as what? As your husband? She said, no, as my father. Daddy, there is this gift I want. And then she opened it. I said, do you have charm in your mouth? Like, do you have charm? Do you have do as I say? Like, you came to me out of all the daughters I have. And then it is, Daddy, see what you will buy for me. I said, my duty as your pastor is not to give you gifts on your birthday. I'm your prophet. You must define this thing. You must define it. Must define it. You say, okay, no problem. Let me see what I can do. I have nothing to do. Because in Nigeria, let me see what I can do is expect money from me. Adam Eme, I said, did they give you anything in your mouth that if you speak to me, I will answer? I say, but I have what I will give you. Nations will come for it. I know she wasn't happy. I said, kneel down. She knelt and I said, Marakotaya. Even me praying, I wasn't praying from my heart. Because the one receiving was not receiving from my heart. Am I talking to somebody here? There are people that are naturally demanding. They can't see greatness. There is a lady, no matter how she stays in my school, I can't ask her what is happening. If I see her, I will be running away. You know, the people you see, you'll be running. They want to see you say, what is that? Go and teach later. Because it will always be one bill or the other. Don't you run away from such people. It is bill versus bill. That's why you are losing relationships, because you lack, I wanted to say you lack sense. Will it be better to say you lack wisdom? You lack wisdom. Deal. So you now say that every relationship in your life is scattered. Some of those women see men as their trophy. You see men as your trophy. A man is your trophy. The trophy you win, the trophy you carry. You can't even walk for yourself. You can't even walk with your hand. You can't even labor with your hand. And that's why women are used mostly for rituals. You see a 21-year-old boy who is sending you see the guy in GLK, Mercedes. And then he's throwing money everywhere. And the guy stops you. 21 years. Meanwhile, you are 26. The next 2 weeks, the guy buys you the latest iPhone. And you say you don't know the guy is a Yahoo guy. And you couldn't ask the guy, what do you do for a living? And from what surrounds the guy around, you can't even fathom. That's how a lot of people entered into all manner of things. Now I ask you, do you have anyone in your life that has been your friend from the last 15 years that is still your friend? You know, some of us don't keep friends. Listen, your relationships equals your money, because your network is directly proportional to your net worth. What you are worth is incumbent on your network. And look at what I've learned. You see, you might have a friend who can give you money, but the person can give you access through what he or she says. Don't belittle anyone. You are not understanding what. The person can what? Through what he or she says. I ministered in Obanko. It was a very dry place. In fact, that year, normally they would give us pause when you finish. They couldn't even give us anything. And the man of God was so unreasonable. The money the church gave him, he ate it. He ate it. Not knowing that one of the elders of the church had come to tell me, sir, please, this thing we gave you, manage it. The man of God said, man of God, this church people, they didn't want to give you anything, no. But take this granite and go home. So I was thinking, how do I tell the church that this man didn't give me anything? I will put him in trouble. So I left like that. And then as I was going, there was this mama that was walking like this. And then came to me. And I was patient enough. I came down from the car, sat down, and she sat down, and we discussed. And then after we finished discussing, I prayed for her. And then I was led to give her everything I had. So I took the money I had and then I gave to her. She told me she did. I said no. She told me, what I'm Obuego can't do. I said, Mama, take it. I'm dashing you. So I left. After a week, a number called me. It was a foreign number. And then it was a lady at the other side of the phone. I said, is this so person? I said, yes. She said, I heard you prayed for my mother in so place. And you gave my mother all the money you had in your pocket. And I was wondering, pastors that collect from people, how is it that this one gave to my mother? And I've asked people about you. Can you please be my prophet? I said yes. She said, I want you to send details. I want to do Western Union. They say Western Union. Details were sent. The next thing is that I got a call, check. Sir, it was $1,500 those years. I went to, when you get to Western Union, you don't even know how much that is sent to you. I came to Western Union and they gave me the money, $1,500. And I took it. the person you despise might be the person that you need. Naaman had a maid. Naaman had a maid. It was that maid that recommended Elisha to Naaman. And then Naaman's leprosy was cleansed. The wisdom of God will teach you never to look down on men. The wisdom of God will teach you never to see someone as not having any potential. Because a non-entity today might be the bridge you require to cross over tomorrow. Someone you call a non-entity. Because there is no non-entity. Somebody say, I hear. What are the dimensions of supernatural wisdom? Number one, solution provision. The wisdom of God will give you access to solving problems. And let me establish this. You are as rich as the problem you solve. If you don't make enough money, you are not solving enough problems. You receive the reward of the problems you solve. Now I ask you, you are believing God for financial breakthrough. What problem are you solving? You are solving nuisance problem. Nuisance. You are creating nuisance everywhere. Everywhere. You are looking for cars to snap. Once we finish now, you just say, where do I go? Where do I go? I don't. You dress up as a lady and you start going to where they are selling shawarma. You put the phone in your ear like this. Say, Lord, yeah, thank you. Meanwhile, you are not talking with anybody. And then when you cross, a guy will say, hello. You say, excuse me, let me call you back. Your name? I don't tell strangers my name, but I'm not a stranger. Can I get to know you? And as the guy is saying it, you are looking at shawarma place. And the guy says, okay, come and take shawarma. That's how you live. If you didn't understand it, we just said that today is a great day. Is that how you're going to live your life? You are more than that, man. You are bigger than that. I told my wife, I said, a time will never come when you, as my wife, will feed me. Not last year, several years ago. I said, I have the capacity that no woman can ever feed me. This thing is important too. We are not saying it just because we have faith. We are saying it because we attach action to it. I'm telling you. If you know what we do on daily basis, if we know the routines we run, you know we are not just talking. The sleep I got for last night wasn't up to 3 hours. Every night, in fact, the last night was one of the highest. I don't get beyond 2 hours sleep every night. We are up every morning studying, writing, and praying. Study to show yourself approved. Reading books so that you can be a workman who rightly divides the word of truth. So that you can speak and nations will hear. What problems are you solving? What problems are you solving? What problems are you solving? When you live here now, what do you do with your life? It matters. It matters. Genesis 41 verse number 33, and I will pray. Oh Jesus. Oh Jesus. Genesis 41 and verse number 33. Now therefore let Pharaoh select a discerning and wise man and set him over the land of Egypt. Go on verse number 34. Let Pharaoh do this and let him appoint officers over the land to collect 1/5 of the produce of the land of Egypt in the 7 plentiful years. And let them gather all the food of those good years that are coming and store up grain under the authority of Pharaoh, and let them keep food in the cities. This is a man providing administrational advice. This guy has adversarial competencies. Then that food shall be as then that food shall be as a reserve for the land for the 7 years of famine that shall befall the land. Gone. 37. So the advice was good in the eyes of Pharaoh and in the eyes of all his servants. And Pharaoh said to his servant, can we find such a one as this? There are people that want to resign where I work. I told them, go well, you will do well in life. There are people, they put up a resignation. If you remember it in the night, your heart will be skipping. Yes, you will call them, you will say, why are you resigning? Why are you going? Is everything okay? There are some you're able to encourage to stay back. Someone can actually be replaceable. Don't joke with people. There are people you can't replace in your life. Am I talking to somebody here? He said, can we find anyone in the whole realm? And Pharaoh said to his servant, can we find such as one as this, a man in whom the Spirit of God is upon? Go on, verse 39. Then Pharaoh said to Joseph, inasmuch as God has shown you all this, there is no one as discerning and as wise as you are. Verse 40. You shall be over. Once you are wise, you are promoted. What did I say? You see a wise man, don't give him any position. He will rule from the crowd. He will always lead. He will always carve out a niche for himself. Somebody say, I hear. He will always do what? Carve out a niche for himself. A niche for himself. He will always carve out a niche for himself. When we are discussing in the flight, it was an international flight, and there was a Moroccan lady, very sound, and then another white man, and then a black guy. Was a very long flight. I was flying from Doha to Brazil. Yes, Doha to Brazil. It was 15 hours flight. So we got into discussion that we are talking about building something that will last. Why is it that the first generation of wealth, people that make like 99.9% of people that are rich are first generation wealth? Yes, first generation wealth. And then just 0.1% is second or third generation wealth. That is what it means, is you hardly can see someone who is so rich because the father was rich. Rather, what they do is they start eating their father's wealth. They don't usually multiply that wealth. And that we are giving reasons why that is the case. So one said that it's the changing climate. Maybe when the person made the money, the climate was better than the environment was better than when this person is around. Then when the second filial generation started making the wealth. I told him, I said, I don't think that is the case. They said a whole lot of things that it might be, said a whole lot of things. I told them, I said, none of these things you said I believe is the case. And they looked at me like, seriously, what is he saying? I said the challenge is the current generation stopped becoming resilient, and they stopped applying their hearts to the wisdom that brought the wealth. I said to them, because whatever has incubated a wealth, the secret that raised the wealth is the secret that is required to sustain it. I say most times those who raised that wealth worked tirelessly. They had restlessness in their bone. And then the people that came into the wealth saw themselves as there is no need for work again. I said it is in the course of that relaxation, in the course of that laziness of the bone, that they lose the wealth. The wealth becomes fleeting in their hands. And as I started speaking, 4 persons had already turned. They had already turned. And it became a very strong conversation. I said to them, I said, there are 7 key principles to building anything that will last. 7 key principles to building anything that will last. And if you drop a pin there, you will hear the noise of the pin. The pool where we were increased. White people listening. The youngest amongst them. When a white man listens to you, you know you are not empty. He said there are 7 key principles. And then I told them that at the heart of multiplying every wealth is prudence. One says that there is a level of money you will have, no matter how riotous you are in spending. No matter how riotous you are in spending, it cannot finish. I said, yes, it might not finish, but it can multiply. And when wealth don't multiply, they don't speak of success. I said, you make the money through the front door, but there is another place called the place of expense, the back door. You must learn how to close the back door. You might not shut it, but learn how to close it. I say prudence is at the root of financial multiplication. I say number 2, financial wisdom. We said a whole lot of things. Study to show yourself approved, a workman who need not to be ashamed. Now, one guy that was there, a man, he should be in his 50s. He said one of the most profound things I've ever heard in my life. He began to share his stories. How he picked up the business of the father that was in tatters. And he moved from Maryland to North Carolina. And that business was to raise cattle. And it is not something you find in North Carolina, because according to him, the vegetation was not pleasant to eat. So he nearly got frustrated. And then he saw that that environment was not thriving the business. He relocated again to Maryland. He now said, I have to add to this, that every financial success must thrive in its own financial soil. Right. Oh. Wisdom is powerful. He said when he studied that, that's how he moved the business from few cattle to now supplying cattle to almost everywhere, to the people, both fast food and all of that. He now said when he got his contract from KFC, it's a powerful restaurant in America. That's how God multiplied him. Excuse me. What solution are you providing? What need are you solving? Is a question. What are you solving? Some of you are solving gossip need. Don't ever allow someone who is in a shop. The next thing you hear, hold on, please don't cut. Nah, this story, I love this story. Hold on. Yes, 30, 300 naira. No. Okay, take it to 80. How many do you want to buy? 15. Take it. Wait. And the person will tie and give. Let's continue. The person is selling in her shop, keeping you busy at home. And then you say, I need to come over. Or see, come over. There is something to eat. Come over. And you come, the person gets you rice and beans and then Pepsi. And then you sit and you balance and you start eating and you while away your time and your day. Don't you know that the time you waste is equivalent to the life you have lost? Because your years on earth is only explained through time. When you lose time, you lose your years. Can you be relied upon? You don't have access to greatness until you are built for greatness. The greatest gift God can give to any man is the gift of men. It's also important. Listen to corrections if you want to go far. Listen to corrections if you want to go far. Take advice if you want to go far. Bow down your head and say after me, oh Lord, I receive your wisdom. I receive the baptism of your wisdom to the glory and honor of your name. Open your mouth and make it a prayer. I receive the baptism of your wisdom to the glory and honor of your name.